Hey guys, I'm Josh, and this is our ATV build on the Honda TRX 400EX. Okay guys, so the TRX 400EX, this is a staple in Honda's ATV lineup, and it's a really popular ATV. Now, before we get into some of the parts and accessories that we've added to this thing, let me talk a little bit about the history of this and really how it came to be. So back in the 80s, we had the ATC 250 three-wheelers, as well as the TRX 250 two-stroke four-wheelers, and those really ruled the game in the racing scene and in Honda's ATV lineup. Now, in the early 90s, Honda actually stopped production of their ATVs, and after a long-awaited wait, in 99, they came out with this 400cc four-stroke TRX 400EX. And that very first year, they actually brought it down to the Baja 1000, and they won that very first year. And after that win, this thing just blew up in popularity. And since then, this machine has become one of the most popular ATVs that's out there. Now, a little bit more history about this. Like I said, they started in 1999, and that's actually the same model we have here. And then in 2005, they gave it a facelift. They also added reverse to the machine. In 2008, they gave it another facelift just to keep it modern and sleek looking. And then in 2009, they decided to drop the E out of the name, so it became the TRX 400X. Now, throughout all those years, the engine and the drivetrain all stayed the same. It's a reliable air-cooled engine. They just changed those aesthetics just to keep it modern looking. Now, the intention of this build is to give you some ideas of parts and accessories that you can add to your TRX regardless of its condition. Whether you've got one that's not running and you'd like to freshen it up, get it running, or maybe you've got one that's been running great and you're looking to get a new feel or new look to it, or maybe you're looking to make it more of a sport ATV. We're going to go over lots of parts and accessories that you can add to your TRX to make it your own. Let's get started. So the first thing I want to talk about is performance with your TRX 400EX. And like I said before, ours is a 99 and it was pretty worn out and the top end was pretty toasted. So the first thing we added is for you guys that maybe have one that's not running, or maybe you're looking just to freshen it up, and that's the QA Parts cylinder and piston kit. Now, this is a very affordable kit that comes with everything you need to do your top end, and it gets your machine back to stock and OEM specs and measurements. And so it really just freshens up your machine and gets it running like new again. Now from there, while we were in the engine, we actually added the Hot Cam's Stage 1 camshaft. Now, one of the things that people like about the TRX is that low end torque. It makes it nice for beginners as well as if you're doing slow trail riding. But one complaint people have is it kind of falls on its face when you get into those higher RPMs and that top end. So the Stage 1 camshaft is really awesome for giving you a wider range of power through your mid and top range. And it's really great, especially if you've added an intake and exhaust to your machine. So with that being said, that's the next thing we added. So with our intake, we replaced our stock air filter with a Pro X air filter. And this is an awesome upgrade. The foam air filters, they get more air into your engine, and they're also much easier to clean. Now that we have our intake opened up, we wanted to open up the other end. So we added the Lex MXE silencer and mid pipe. And what's nice about this is that it's fully rebuildable and fully tunable. So if you're in a race scenario, you can use the MX tip. It keeps it nice and throaty, keeps it really open, gives you good power. And if you're in a trail scenario where you maybe want it to quiet down, you can get the trail tips, which keep it quiet, but also give it good power. Now, when you open up the intake, you can exhaust. You want to make sure that you jet your carb accordingly to your elevation. And we've gone ahead and done that to our TRX as well. Now, the last thing for performance is a clutch kit. So like I said before, these are awesome for beginners. And when you have beginners riding these, the clutch takes a lot of abuse. There's a lot of fade and drag, and it's just good to get a fresh clutch kit in your bike. So we've gone ahead and gone with the Tusk Competition Clutch Kit. It's an awesome kit that gives you good longevity, a good feel, and just really adds to the performance of your TRX 400EX. Now, if you have any questions about how to do the top end or the clutch kit on your machine, we have detailed how-to videos that'll walk you through step by step and show you how to get those done. Now, moving on, let's talk about protection for your TRX. And this is one of the most important things in my opinion, and one of the first things that I do to an ATV. And so we've gone ahead and added the Ricochet fold chassis skid plate underneath, as well as a swing arm guard. These are aluminum units, and they really just give you that peace of mind when you're going through rough terrain. Especially with that swing arm guard, your swing arm is super low. And what's nice about the Ricochet one is that it protects both your sprocket and your brake disc rotor. So you can go over terrain and not have to worry about bending those. We've also gone ahead and added aluminum A-arm guards. Again, these are low points on your machine. And so these give you that peace of mind that when you're going through rough, rocky terrain, you don't have to worry about the underside of your machine. Now from there, we added a couple components from Tusk, like the foot peg, Nerf bar, and heel guard, as well as the Comp Series front bumper. Now with this foot peg, Nerf bar, and heel guard combination, what's nice is that it's everything in one. So it gives you a nice, good foot peg that's a wide platform, and it helps when you're getting a little bit more aggressive and gives you good grip, as well as the Nerf bar. So this is good for if you're in a racing scenario or you're looking for more protection from debris and obstacles. And then maybe you've lost your plastic heel guards and you're looking for more protection on the back. It's also got that as well. So it's really just a great combination of everything you're looking for. Now with the front bumper, this gives you a nice new aggressive look, and it just gives you that added protection up in front. Now moving on, let's talk about some drive components to keep your machine running smooth, as well as get that power to the ground. So one of the first and most obvious things we did to this thing is got it some new wheels and tires. So the tires that were on this, they were pretty big and bulky. They were in decent condition, but the sizing was a little bit odd, and we wanted to give it a fresh, aggressive look. So we actually teamed up with Maxxis and Douglas to give this thing some new shoes. So with the tires, we went with the Maxxis Razor 2s. These are awesome tires that are really popular in the racing scene, and they're good in pretty much any terrain, and they also give a really nice, aggressive look. And then with the wheels, we went with the A5 wheels from Douglas, and these are an awesome combination of strength and weight. And we also got them in matte black, which I don't know about you guys, but something about Hondas and black wheels just really transform the look of this thing and really makes it look good. Now the next thing we went after to tackle with this machine was the rear end. So the axle, the drive components, as well as the brake components had been exposed to a lot of salt and grime, and there was a lot of corrosion, and it's just in bad shape. So the first thing we went after was the axle. We put a new Tusk adjustable width axle on this, and what's awesome about this is it's a nice affordable option, it's strong, and it's also adjustable. So you can use spacers to adjust the width of your machine, and we've gone ahead and gone with the widest width to give this thing a nice aggressive stance. Now we also added spacers to the front wheels to match the width of that rear axle. Now while we were doing that axle, we also put a new Typhoon brake rotor on, cleaned up the caliper, and put new brake pads on. And this really added to the stopping power, and it's just really a good safety option and something you don't want to overlook. Now another thing we added while we were down on the axle is a new chain and sprocket kit. So like I said, the old kit was pretty corroded and it was definitely due for a change. So we went with the primary drive chain and sprocket kit. This comes with steel sprockets that are incredibly durable, and the X-ring chain is another really durable component that, regardless of what type of terrain or what type of riding you're doing, it's going to last a really long time for you. Now the last couple of drive components we added are the case saver and folding shift lever from Tusk. Now with the case saver, this is a really cheap accessory that can prevent expensive repairs down the road. Just in case, if your chain snaps or something happens, you don't want that slapping your case and breaking something. So this is a good accessory to protect that. And then with the folding shift lever, ours was in really bad shape, so this is a great replacement. It's a folding shift lever, and it also gives it a great fresh look. Now the last few things I want to talk about are really around comfort, as well as a little bit of a bling factor for your machine. So for comfort, we added the Factory Effects All Grip seat. Now this is a really great upgrade from the stock seat. Whether yours is sun faded, cracked, or you're just looking to get a little bit more grip and performance, the All Grip seat is a great replacement. Another thing we added for comfort is the Pro Taper SE ATV high bend handlebars. Now these are a great upgrade from stock. Ours were in really bad shape and they were bent up a bit. And so the aluminum on this is much stronger than your stock bars, and it really just gives you a much more aggressive bend, and it gives you a little bit more performance while you're riding and comfort. Along with those, we added the ODI lock-on grips. These are a great grip. They're extremely easy to install, and they are pretty plush and soft, so it really just transforms the way the bike feels in your hands. Now, while we're on the topic of electrical accessories, another thing we did add is the new battery. So with these things not having a kickstart, it's really imperative that you have a fresh battery in there so you don't have to worry about yourself getting stuck out on the trail. Now another accessory we added related to comfort is some new headlight bulbs. So the stock bulbs, if you've ever ridden at night, they just really don't work that well and they're not that safe. So we've upgraded to the super white bulbs from Tusk. These are an awesome upgrade. They help you see the trail much better and just really add to the safety while you're riding at night. Now let's talk about some of the bling factor with your TRX. So one of the biggest things we've added is the Attack graphics kit. And it's always nice to customize your machine for you, get your favorite brands and logos on there. And this kit really just does that, and it gives you a nice fresh look. And from there, we also added some anodized parts. So we added a new gas cap, reservoir cap, and as well as some engine plugs. And again, those just kind of help customize the machine for you and really get it looking the way you'd like it to. All right, guys, that completes our build on the Honda TRX 400EX. And hopefully this has given you good parts and ideas to keep your machine looking and running the way you'd like it to. If you have any questions at all about any of the parts and accessories we've added, make sure and comment those below. Also, I'd love to hear what kind of parts and accessories you've already added and what kind of build you've done for your machine. So if you like this kind of content, make sure and like and subscribe. Also, check out RockyMountainatvmc.com for all the parts and accessories you need for you and your machine. Thanks for watching.